President Donald Trump has seemingly ignited a fire amongst some South Africans. But how many people realize that this is just a shit test? Smoke screens, in other words. This is a very special video because this channel primarily consists of me discussing American politics. But this is going to be a special video because I'm going to be discussing both American and South African politics. My name is MrShowTym and you are watching the Showcast. Welcome back to the MrShowTym Showcast. Tucker Carlson and Ernst Roets did a interview together over there at Tucker Carlson's house, and they discuss a topic that Donald Trump has ignited amongst some South Africans. And I'm proud to say that South Africans have handled it quite well. Donald Trump made an accusation that there's a killing of white South Africans, a white genocide. Even in Tucker Carlson's thumbnail, headlines, killing of whites. And he invited a fellow South African over by the name of Ernst Roets. I think he's a journalist. And look, I am neither saying that there isn't some sort of like turbulence with regards to farm killings and certain things that are going on in SA, but understand that something can be somewhat true, but the media over embellishes it, and they go ham with it. They run wild with it, right? To spin a narrative. They're running psyops. They're ensuing psyops. Okay. Now, again, something can be somewhat true. I'm neither denying that there are farm killings in SA. Period. Because I've seen some, some horrifying videos of angry mob farm workers that are, you can say, sticking it to the man. Okay, I've seen some videos on Tik Tok and some of it are terrible. Okay, I acknowledge that part. But as South Africans, we need to ask ourselves, to what extent, in what context? Because there's some white South Africans that actually came out in fair droves, and they said that, look, this whole farm killings and it's a myth. Okay, yes, there are some instances that have happened, unfortunately, but it's not like in South Africa. It's just like if you have to just fly in from South Africa, if you're an American watching this, if you have to take a flight from America to South Africa or wherever you come from in the world, you would see like the streets just flowing with blood and blacks are devouring the heads of white people like I'm gonna find me a white man and devour his head and bite his head off. Yeah, vengeance for what you did to us in the past. No, okay, no. That's what the ZEITGEIST Control Machine wants to have you believe. Now, kudos to a lot of South Africans here. They don't buy that. A lot of South Africa, here in South Africa, we are a first world civilized society. Okay? We're a first world civilized society. We don't have, we're not going hysterical as the Americans. Because Tucker Carlson, the way he talks about it, the way Donald Trump talks about it, I like Donald Trump, but when it comes to him aiming his gun in South Africa, I have to respond, okay? my country comes first. Donald Trump, and have you noticed, it's not the left that are going crazy. Oh my goodness! Oh, no. They're focused on their own issues, and although they're focused on their issues, they're not really talking about a white genocide in South Africa. Why? Because there is none. At least not to the extent that they say they want to have us believe. Right? Because there is none. Not in the way that they want to have us believe. Okay? You see, remember, I want you to think back. I want you to think about this, because this will only enrage a certain subset of people. When I talk about a certain subset, there's a certain subset of whites who have they've taken the bait, and they're obviously running with it. They're taking the bait, and they're taking these mostly falsified talking points, and they embellish and they're taking it out there in the media for the Americans to they're like, yeah, I'm South African and I can confirm this killing of whites. We're dying over here. These are the whites that they're not very patriarchal. They have like this frustration and disdain for blacks, if not other demographics of South Africans. They're the ones that are not, like I said, they're not very patriarchal, okay? They have a frustration with blacks with regards to the corruption that happens here in South Africa, which I acknowledge. Yes, there is a corruption that goes on here in South Africa. I'm not a fan of our government, the way our government is being ran, okay? Now, I'm going to address this particular thing, which I hate how they're getting so much media hype, but I understand the why. There's a particular communist political group here in South Africa called the EFF, the Economic Freedom Fighters, which is very ironic because that's not what they stand for at all. They're a bunch of rebels and ruffians. Understand something, both Americans, okay? Because South Africans, we know this. I'm talking to you, Tucker Carlson. I'm talking to you, Tim Pool. I'm talking to you, famous conservative influencers, you tradcons over there. The EFF and the people that support the EFF make up a very small number of people here in South Africa, almost minute. Now, of course, they want to show you pictures of these red clothes wearing, they're wearing the red uniform, chanting, shoot the Boer, kill the Boer, whatnot. Understand something, most blacks here in South Africa, we do not stand for that, okay? We refute that. Again, in life, there will always be a small group of idiots. Just like how there's a small group of whites that are running with that, going ham. Of which I'm here to clarify. You Americans understand this. Simple. They will pull up these graphs, they will pull up these YouTube articles, these Google articles on Google. Talking about the EFF, they're trying to shoot the ball. I mean, like, yeah, they're just creating like hype. Yes, you see the stadiums filled, and if you're not a South African, you would think that you're walking down the streets and you'd see one in every second person you'd see these people shoot the ball. No, like I said, these people make up a very small, minute number. Okay, I don't even understand how. Again, I understand, but I don't like how these people are getting so much media attention. But it is what it is, okay? And even Julius Malema himself, he understands this, okay? He says these radical things, chanting "Shoot the Boer," this racist song. Again, understand this, Americans. We refute that. We rebuke that. Majority of Black South Africans, we rebuke that. As a matter of fact, I happen to support the Democratic Alliance, just for interest's sake. Again, remember what I said. A small number of idiots. There's a small number of EFF ruffians, and there's a small number of whites. So you get the white population. Most whites are very children relaxed here in South Africa. They're like, and when Trump made the offer, oh, why don't you come over here and take refuge? They're like, no thanks, we're good, we're cool. Why should we go over there and become second-class citizens over there? Farm what? Where? Oh, the Americans are just gonna give you some land because, oh, poor you white South. No, Trump doesn't care about that. Again, haven't you heard them say America first? Just think about that. And kudos to the majority of white South Africans who didn't fall for the bait. They're like, no, we're good. Now, with regards to the Land Expropriation Act, yes, the ruling party may have came out and said, and sued that there's land being confiscated without compensation. Again, to what extent? I do not know of any farm owners that have had their land confiscated. The majority of Afrikaans people are still farming their what do you say in Afrikaans? It's called a plaas. Okay? They still have their farms and they're still farming and they're still carrying on like nobody's business. Now again, coming back to the whole white killings, what you don't realize, what we haven't thought about, is that yes, maybe there's an incident, a couple of incidences that happened due to angry mob rebels that have unfortunately taken the lives of Afrikaans people. My condolences to them. But also understand that there's another context that isn't being reported, such as, how humans, when it comes to human interaction, there's something called conflict, there's something called family feuds. And sometimes it ends in, it ends up worse. Some of those farmers, they're killing each other because of family inheritance, family feuds and whatnot. But the media doesn't tell you that, there's a farm killing some over there in Mpumalanga or somewhere. And the killing was, it was what we call white on white violence. Families killing each other. They don't report thingy that Wamfriki died because his uncle killed his nephew because they were fighting over God knows what. No, the headline just reads there was a farm killing, and then obviously because of that hysteria of kill the Boer, now you're linking the two automatically. Think. That's what I'm saying to you. Think. Look deeper. Look deeper and find the context. Oh, there was a farm killing. Oh, no, it turns out that, there was two Afrikaans people tussling and they end up shooting at each other with a shotgun. Can we acknowledge that that's a possibility? We can? Okay, now we can go forward. I would like to go forward and I just want to say this. I want you to think back to the 1995 Rugby World Cup. Okay? This is how the media plays us, okay? Because back in the 1995 Rugby World Cup, during a time of political tension here in South Africa, worse than now, there were tensions, political tensions, even back, because it was back in the day. Okay? we hosted a world world tournament, a Rugby World Cup, and people from all around the world got to come here in South Africa, even during the time of political tension. And we hosted the Rugby World Cup. Heck, we hosted it successfully and we even won. Let's reference the famous, legendary moment where Nelson Mandela handed over the trophy to former Springbok captain Francois Pienaar, uniting the country. Okay? So the world, in other words, the world got to come here and see how South Africa is, how developed it was. Okay? Now fast forward 15 years later, where surely you think that these allegations of about South Africa, these negative talks about South Africa would have been nullified because the world has been here before. Fast forward 15 years later to 2010, where South Africa got to host the 2010 FIFA World Cup here in South Africa. Once again, an opportunity for the world to come here because they've been here before. What happened? They were popular, big, mainstream news outlets talking about FIFA. Hey, Sepp Blatter, FIFA president. Are you sure? Are we sure we want to host the the FIFA World Cup in the bushes, the primitive bushes of Africa? What are you doing? It's dangerous over there. Is there even drinking water there? What about the savages? They're gonna eat us. They're gonna bite our heads off. Because that's how they portray us, people who look like me. The stereotypes. UNICEF ads. With 50 cents, the David Beckham, with 50 cents a day, you too could feed this starving little monkey, this starving little black person with flies buzzing around their faces, with these pop bellies, hungry, starving, suffering from scurvy. Huh? Because that's how everyone in Africa looks like, right? You have people like Lauren Southern. Oh yes, I did a video about this as well. Coming here to, report what's going on in South Africa. And I did a video about this. You can check it out. They come here and they report and they frame South Africa as if it's this Armageddon danger zone. Of which you have to remember, you have to keep in mind. The Americans have an incentive to report other countries in a less than desirable fashion. Because why would they? Why would they prop up other countries when they have all the media power like CNN? Even though it's a joke at this point. But back in the day, where people trusted the mainstream media, they have an incentive to report every other country in a sort of like stereotypical or less than desirable fashion. Because why would they give other nations props? No. Look at how the Americans market themselves. You get the skyscrapers of Manhattan, New York, right? The Big Apple, right? Miami, even though Miami prior to the 1940s was a crappy place. But that's neither here or there. I digress. It is what it is now, but, Los Angeles, Beverly Hills. But most people don't realize that the majority of America, the flyover states, are rural, rural countryside. They have only 3 or 4 major cities, these plish-plush areas, like Beverly Hills, Malibu, California. Majority of California is just god-awful. It's only Los Angeles, California, the Hollywood Hills. That's what they tend to show you. Miami, beachside. They don't show you the rest of Florida because it's ridden with hurricanes and tornadoes. Houses, they just explode when they get hit by these typhoons. New York, they don't show you the Bronx. Oh no, they show you New York City. New York Times Square with the billboards and the shiny buildings. Yeah, that's all that they show you. The skyscrapers of Manhattan, Megatropolis. Yeah, they don't show you the rest. Why? Because the rest is less than desirable. It looks atrocious. They don't show you the rest of Texas. It's just rural settlements, countryside. They don't show you Alabama. Same here with us, but with us, they show you Soweto. They show you Ikayalicha, the poor squatter camps made of, these little, simple, little metal sheets, shacks. They don't show you Durban beachside, at least not often. They don't show you Sands in Johannesburg. No, they don't show you Stellenbosch, the plish-plush, upper-class echelon neighborhood. No, the vineyards. They don't show you, Cape Town. Not really. Understand how the zeitgeist control machine works. Coming back to 2010, remember how they said, "Oh, it's just these are just the FIFA is making a mistake, taking the FIFA World Cup to the bushes, the primitive bushes of Africa." They came here, and the rest of the world were like, "Oh, okay." To those who haven't came here before, and they're like, "Wow, I was shocked to come here. There's multiple forms, multiple modes of transport. It's a first world country." What was your mistake? You listened to the zeitgeist control machine. And once again, we're being tested again. Donald Trump is running psyops again. Whites are dying here in South Africa. How many people believe it this time? Kudos to South Africans themselves. But to you Americans, do you really believe it? I mean, come on. They're running the playbook again and again and again. Are you gonna fall for it? I mean, I don't think most people fall for it. But again, there's a small subset of idiots. There'll always be a small subset of idiots. Those who do not like a particular group of people. Yeah, that's not true. I'm South African. I can confirm. The whites are dying. The blacks are devouring our heads. Our streets are flowing with blood. Like some sort of like horror movie. There will always be a small subset of idiots. The majority of whites are cool. Okay? Hey, they're like, hey, even look. Not all white people agree with each other either. Do you know? Just as much as not all blacks agree with each other. We're not monoliths. Okay? So I just did this little video just to talk to the world and say, hey, especially South Africans, we were being tested. And kudos to us. Most of us handled it quite well. Most of us. I'm not talking to all of us. I'm not talking to the small, minute idiots. No. I'm talking to most of us who have a functioning brain. We go about our day-to-day lives. We're not out here chasing each other with shotguns. We're not out here mass shooting each other like how they do in America. We don't have psychedelic, psychotic idiots who can't get girlfriends like your Jeffrey Dahmer, Elliot Rogers, who are MK Ultra, okay? We've never had a mass shooting here in South Africa. And another thing, as much as we despise our politicians, as much as we may despise our presidential figures, we've never tried to assassinate them. Unlike in America, where Donald Trump has been attempted at assassination not once but twice. Americans, hey, South Africa, hey, world, the Americans are dangerous. They assassinate their presidents. John F. Kennedy, Abraham Lincoln, Ronald Reagan. They've even tried. Was it Ronald Reagan or Richard Nixon? One of the two. I tend to mistake them. They've tried to assassinate. They've tried to take him out as well. Even recently, they tried to take out Donald Trump. Hey, dear world, the Americans are savages. They assassinate and they conduct mass shootings. We can do it too. See? Kitty can also scratch. Tucker Carlson, look, I'm not saying that you had any ill intentions, okay? Ernst Roets, I don't fully disagree, okay? I'm not saying you had ill intentions of your interview over there. Not really. It's just that, as a matter of fact, I agree with most of what you said. But again, Tucker Carlson, you putting that headline, the killing of whites, you did that for a reason. You did that for a reason. Clickbait. And most of us do not fall for it. There's no white genocide. Yes, there are freak incidences that happen here and there. We do not deny that. I don't deny that. But in what context? Not as much as you may have people believe. You see, another thing, tensions have become smoother, better here in South Africa because, remember back in 2010, the Afrikaans people were like, what? When the media was busy smearing South Africa in a negative light, it's a third world country. You know how it is. It's Africa, a small third world village full of savages. You know what the Afrikaans people did? Not just the Afrikaans, the English. Well, let's just say whites, because white people here in South Africa are not too fond of football. So they just kept quiet. They're like, oh well, it's none of our business. We like our rugby. Soccer, no, fine, thank you, right? They kept quiet. They're like, well, none of our business. The white people in South Africa were MIA throughout the FIFA World Cup 2010. A fair number. Yeah, some of them, they enjoyed the World Cup and they were like, yeah, this is good. But in terms of your big influencers, your big voices, they were silent. They were like, none of our business. Oh, there's no drinkable water. They didn't come out and stick up for the blacks with their passionate sport, their sport they find passionate. They didn't come out. They were silent. I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm not saying they're right neither. I'm just saying that's just how they acted. They were just like, wait, none of our business. Your Steve Hoffmeyers of the world. They're like, oh, zoop. Don't care. None of my business. But going forward, this is the mistake they made that I'm trying to rectify going forward. Because there's something called sticking up for your fellow South African, which is what I'm doing now. Okay? This is what we call bringing the country together. We stick up for one another. They're talking smack about the white South Africans. They're talking smack about our country as a whole. Whether they're talking ill about blacks, or whether they're talking ill about whites, whether they're talking ill about the Indian South Africans, or whether they're talking about the Asian South Africans, the Chinese South Africans, the Taiwanese, MrShowTym, I will look to find a way to stick up for them in an objective fashion. And if there's something to be criticized, fine, I acknowledge it. But again, I am sticking up for them. I am sticking up for us. Don't let the world describe us in a less than desirable fashion, because there's a saying that goes like this: if you don't tell your stories, other people will. So I'm sticking up for my fellow South Africans, and I'm saying, hey, you Americans, stop talking crap about us. What you're saying is not quite accurate. There's a biblical saying that goes like this: clean out your own ear before you try to clean out the earbud of your brother, or something along those lines. You guys have mass shootings. You try to assassinate your presidents. So Donald Trump, this is not even about white South Africans or whatnot. It's just the reason why Donald Trump aimed his attention at us with this whole thing. This whole thing is not even about white South Africans. So to you knee-jerky South Africans who will want to take the first opportunity to, to bash your country and say, oh, yo, it's the blacks that killing us. This is not about you, okay? Pipe down. The South African government has pushed for the arrest of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Now, as you know, Israel and America are allies. Actually, sorry, they're not allies. Israel controls America. Okay? Which is why you have these dumb, well, not really dumb, these bought and paid for influencers, your Charlie Kirks, your Ben Shapiro's, the guys at the Daily Wire, your Megyn Kelly. They say Israel is our greatest ally. No, they're not. They are your greatest handler and users. They're your greatest handlers and users. Okay? So South Africa looks to sanction and put Benjamin Netanyahu away in Yale, by throwing him in Yale. We're pushing so hard for the ICC, the International Criminal Court, to have Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu arrested for his war crimes, and rightfully so. And America is, because Donald Trump has controlled, his donors are Israeli, the Jews, the ancient Smiths. Okay, so that's why he aimed his attention at us. Okay? He's trying to defend Israel. So that's all I have to say for now. If you've been watching this far, thank you so much for watching. And remember, the Matrix has you. Follow the white rabbit. Don't fall for the psyops. Thanks so much for watching. Cheers.